Hey, today I want to do a quick little video on one of Vadi's guards, which is the true window from Vadi. I saw something at class the other day that made me think about doing this, and yeah, hopefully it's interesting for people who do Vadi, all three of you. True window, high guard from Vadi, up here, right? It's probably one of the most iconic guards from Vadi. It's certainly the one that people sort of look at and think, oh, that person does Vadi. Looks quite weird when you first see it. I know when I first saw someone doing it, I thought, what the hell is that person doing? That looks strange and bizarre. And also when I started doing Vadi in tournaments, before the UK scene was used to people doing Vadi, or used to me doing Vadi, I'd adopt that guard and I would immediately get looked like, what the hell are you doing? That's stupid, just before I hit someone in the face from it, which is all nice and fun. And why is it weird? Well, it looks like it's kind of bound up and restricted, but it really isn't. But certainly that gives you the impression that there's some kind of issues with it. And there are challenges some people have, which is really what I want to talk about today. Best way to think about the guard, though, is most longsword systems have something like this, right? Over shoulder guard, something looks a bit like this, whatever, you know, something version of that with a nice covering your shoulder, over your shoulder, rather, guard. True window is the same guard turned over. Okay, I'm here, I'm here. Why is it turned over? Short version, easy to see from the side. Here, my head's open. Here, my head is covered. In general, Vadi likes to have these kind of guards which keep you covered, keep you closed. You know, most of his guards close some kind of line of attack, right? True window, no exception. It's covering my head. And really, that's all there is to it, you know, in terms of its difference between a more common longsword guard that you're used to seeing like this and this. Both of them will be charging attacks, particularly on the same side of the sword, right? Same from true window, same idea, pretty much the same. Both can do quick strikes the other side. Neither can really do the rising strike from the other side. Both perfectly comfortable kind of thrusting actions from them as well. Slightly different thrusting actions, I think it's probably the biggest difference. So they're both kind of comfortable, nice charged attacking guards, but here, as I say, Vadi doesn't like just preparing for the attack, he likes you explicitly closing lines, covering attack. But this is what really inspired the video. Some people struggle with true window for basically three reasons. And the solution to all three is kind of the same. So there are three reasons why you might struggle with true window. First one is, particularly women suffer from this, large breasts. Or any breasts really. If you see where my arm is, covering here, comes exactly where my breast would be if I were, well, if I had breasts. And that causes, physically gets in the way, right? Another common issue, wrist issues, bent wrists or shoulder issues can make kind of holding the wrist issue in particular, kind of down here. Wrist issues get exacerbated if you ever have bent wrists, particularly if you've come to true window as a parrying action. If you're parrying with bent wrists, the shock of the parry can cause issues. I got RSI doing this. And then the third sort of class of problem is kit. I'm wearing basically nothing right now. If I've got big bulky arm guards, big bulky gloves, jacket, you know, this kind of bound up position, quite challenging. Any of those three, the wrist, the kit, or having breasts, issues can be solved in the same way, fortunately, which is that if you're holding it very low, naturally your wrists are kind of collapsing. Likewise, this arm is getting more bound up with the body, and my arm's getting kind of more bound up. Simple solution, hold it higher, right? I might have my arm down, or if I need to, I have it up, depending on who I am, and it works exactly the same way, just this little bit higher up, no problem at all. So that small change from here to here perfectly fine, right? Anything like this, I would say, is comfortably within the bounds of what I would consider the same guard. So any of those are an option. If that's not enough, if that doesn't solve your issues, the other thing I would say is you can just revert to an over-the-shoulder guard. As I said, the difference between this and this is just that true window covers the head. It's a bit more than that. Even if you don't have issues, it's a bit more natural to cut from this than here. It's not that you can't have a nice straightforward cut, but this feels more natural. You can charge it a little bit better. And really the trade-off you got here is between better charge for offense, better for defense because it's already covering your head. Now, in most circumstances, that cover doesn't matter, or it might not matter. So you could even, if you don't have any issues at all, you could be thinking, okay, well, when I don't need to cover my head, I'll use this guard. And if they're in a counter guard that makes me feel like I need to cover my head, I'll use this. Or even I might use this as a parrying action and come forward from that. And really, as I say, generally speaking, this is fine, right? The need to cover your head in this guard in particular comes up more if you're fencing somebody who's the opposite hand to you, because their natural strike will come into there. If they're kind of the same hand, they're sort of natural from this descending strike, you would be using the frontal, the sister guard to this anyway, so it doesn't necessarily come up as often. So you won't have a big hole in your fencing if you just decided to avoid using true window altogether, just use another shoulder guard. We actually, in my club, when we do the beginners course, we start them off with this rather than this, for exactly that reason. Feels more natural. You kind of learn what a good cut feels like better from kind of coming from here. You don't have the confusion of, okay, I'm in a bit of a weird position. This feels awkward. This feels unusual. They're not wearing kit, so that's never an issue as well. And no one needs to worry about like adapting straight from the outset to their body type, because pretty much everybody can comfortably stand like this, which is why it's in every single system, and perform a cut from that. So, true window, in short, nice guard, very iconic Vadi guard. Why do we have it? Like all Vadi guards, covers something, in this case our head. More defensive than this, almost as good as attacking, not quite. Can be awkward. If you're finding it awkward, try it higher. If you're still finding it awkward, skip it entirely, go for this instead. Thanks for watching.